Hey y'all, it's Wednesday. Whew, halfway through another week already. And we're in the middle of August already. It's crazy. And the mornings have been really nice and cool, and it's just crazy for August. We've had rain, and we had a lot of rain, and it's cooler and nicer and just a little bit unusual for us. But I'm thankful for those moments that we do get where it's nice and cool in the morning. I let Stella out, and she definitely feels frisky when she first walks out that door and feels that cooler air. She just runs and has, and she just loves it. So thankful for that. Today, like always, I change. I don't do the same thing every day. But I asked the Lord, what should I talk about today? And I try to listen to Him and hear from Him. And Sunday in our women's group, and then Wednesday before last in our women's group, I asked them to write down a verse that speaks to them, that is their favorite verse in this season of their life. And so the Lord directed me this morning to Ecclesiastes 3. And it's titled Solomon's General Observations, A Time for Everything. There is a time for everything, a season for every activity under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to harvest, a time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to rebuild. A time to cry and a time to laugh. A time to grieve and time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather stones. A time to embrace and a time to turn away. A time to search and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be quiet and a time to speak up. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace. I think that we all go through so many different seasons in our life, and we're all in different seasons. A lot of us may be walking down the same road, the same path, kind of in the same, they say, oh, you're in the honeymoon phase, and then you're in the child rearing phase, and then you're in the empty nest phase, and so we all have those different times in our lives. But in saying these things, I'm going to read, this is my study Bible. So timing is important. All the experiences listed in these verses are appropriate at certain times. The secret to peace with God is to discover, accept, and appreciate God's perfect timing. The danger is to doubt or resent God's timing. This can lead to despair, rebellion, or moving ahead without His advice. Moving ahead without His advice. How many times do we do that? I've talked about that several times, that we just say, okay, Lord, this is my plan. This is what I need to, this is what we need to do. And here it is. And okay, approve it, bless it, and let's go. Let's go do my plan. Instead of saying, Lord, what would you have me do? Lord, help me to develop a plan. I've been in that stage for the last few months. Lord, help me develop a plan so I can start implementing that plan, so I can start moving forward in that plan. I can start doing as you would have called me to do. So I'm trying to be very patient in His timing, and some days it's very, very difficult because I just want answers. I just want it done. This is what we're going to do. And sometimes God is saying, whoa, you need to put the brakes on. You need to slow down a little bit. We're going to get through this, but it may take us a little bit. And then the study part to verse 8, which says a time to love and a time to hate. When is there a time for hating? We shouldn't hate evil people, but we should hate what they do. We should also hate it when people are mistreated, when children are starving, and when God is being dishonored. In addition, we must hate the sin in our life. This is God's attitude. So it's not telling us to hate people because they're a different color, or they have a different orientation than we do, or they have whatever it may be. That's not what that's saying. It's not saying that we have the right to go out and hate people. That's not what that means. It means we need to hate the sin. Oh. I don't know if I'm still on. I just had it looks like I'm still on. the electricity just went out and it came right back on. But, so I'm just going to go on like I'm still on. If I'm not, I guess I'll just pick it up tomorrow or something. But, so it's not telling us that we need to go hate people, because we don't. We need to love people. We need to encourage people. Even if they don't agree with what we agree with, we still need to be able to have enough compassion and have enough Jesus in us that we can say, I totally disagree with what you have to say, but I'm going to love you anyways. And I'm going to love you through this. I'm going to help you through this, whatever it may be. And then starting with verse 9, what do people really get for all their hard work? I have thought about this in connection with the various kinds of work God has given people to do. God has made everything beautiful for its own time. He has planted eternity in the human heart, but even so, people cannot see the whole scope of God's work from the beginning to the end. So, and this is Solomon. So, I concluded that there is nothing better for people than to be happy and to enjoy themselves as long as they can. And people should eat and drink and enjoy the fruits of their labor, for these are gifts from God. And I know that whatever God does is final. Nothing can be added to it or taken away from it. God's purpose in this is that people should fear him. Whatever exists today and whatever will exist in the future has already existed in the past, for God calls each event back in its turn. So, God's timing sometimes is very difficult for us to understand. And a lot of people take this verse 12, so I have concluded that there's nothing better for people than to be happy and to enjoy themselves as long as they can. They take that as that's what God said. That's not what this says. It's Solomon. I concluded. Not God concluded. I concluded. So we need to understand that God's not saying that you should always just follow your heart, because the heart is above all things deceitful. What he's saying is, I need you to follow me. Follow what I have for you. Be patient, be kind, be willing to hear from me, be willing to be still, be willing to not try to manipulate me, be willing to hear me when I correct you, be willing to do as I've asked you to do. Sometimes that's hard for us. Or it is for me. It might not be hard for you guys. You might hear from God and be like, okay, yeah, sometimes it's hard. I wrestled with God for a couple of months over an issue. And finally I said, okay, God, I'm going to do what you have me to do. I'm going to do it. I wish you would give me something else. I wish you would ask me to do something different. But that's not what you ask of me. You ask me to do this, and I'm going to do it. So when we do that, when he sees our heart is turned towards him, he can work better through us, and we need to allow him to do that. Mike talked about David on Sunday. David did a lot of wrong things. He did lots and lots of wrong things. But God still used him, because David didn't try to cover it up. He did it in the beginning, but then when he realized what he had done, he didn't try to cover it up. He went to God with a sorrowful heart, and he knew that he needed God's forgiveness in order to live the life that God had called him to. His heart turned toward God. He didn't try to be like a litter box and cover up his sin. He said, my sin is ever before me. Lord, I need you. He turned to God humbly, respectfully, and he gave his all to God, and God used him in a mighty way. So even in the hard things, even in these hard things, and there are a lot of hard things, because a time to scatter stones and a time to gather stones. Scattering stones is easy. Gathering those stones sometimes can be hard. So even if you're going through a season of hard, keep looking to the Lord, keep pressing into him, keep praying to him, keep asking him to guide you, and allow him to soak into your spirit and move you. That's all he's asking, is for that relationship. He just wants a relationship with you. He doesn't want a religion. He doesn't want any of that. He wants a relationship with you. And he just wants you to hear from him. So sometimes we have to be still. We have to be quiet. We have to acknowledge, Lord, I am the problem. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Sometimes we have to acknowledge that and then get our pride and our selfishness and our whatever it may be out of the way and allow him to work through us. Is that going to happen overnight? No. Sometimes we have to lay it down 150 times before we finally get it and let it go. Letting go of things sometimes is hard, especially if it has affected us deeply into our spirit. Whether it's something we said, something we did, something we should have said, something we should have done, whatever it may be. But we eventually need to let it go, lay it at his feet, and say, okay, Jesus, I can't do this anymore. I've got to have you because I can't do it by myself. So in every season, know that he is there with you. He's never going to leave you. He's never going to forsake you. He's gone before you. He's gone behind you. He's all around you, surrounding you, and giving you that peace that exceeds all understanding. Allow him that time. Allow the time with him, whether it be your morning routine, your night routine, whatever it is, your afternoon routine, before you pick up the kids in the pickup line, wherever it is you spend time with Jesus. Allow him that time to soak into your spirit and to listen, and you listen to him instead of saying, God, I need you to do this. I can't believe he said that to me. I can't believe he did this to me. I can't believe she did this to me. I can't believe she said this. You've got to do this, and you got to do this, and you have to quit telling God what he needs to do and start asking God what you need to do and see what happens. Your life will change, and God will continually guide you and lead you in the right direction. So I hope you all have a wonderful Wednesday. Tonight we have youth. We have littles at 6, bigs at 7. They will be eating, I think it's biscuits and gravy, sausage balls tonight. I'm not sure what the dessert is, but there will be a dessert. Buses will be running. If your child needs a ride, please text us at 918-399-5956 with your name, address, child's name, so we'll know where to pick them up. Again, buses run, they leave here at 5 o'clock. So I would need for you to get the text in within the next hour or so I can make sure I get that passed on to the bus drivers. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. I will be back tomorrow. I will be on tomorrow. This weekend we do have the medical training on Saturday. It starts at 8 a.m. And then Sunday it will be after services, and that will be with Keith Spanberger. He's coming up and he's going to be teaching us and training us, and he will put it on our level where we can understand it. We'll have services at 9 and 11 on Sunday. Keith will be sharing in those services. He is a missionary. He uses this medical training to fund his missionary work that he does, and it's he goes to South America usually. So I hope you will come out and listen to him and encourage him in any way possible. I don't know him. I've just texted him, emailed, talked to him on the phone a couple of times, and I'm really excited to meet him and his wife. And I hope that all y'all that have signed up for the medical class, I know there were several that texted Mike this morning about, oh, this training, it says we'll be outside, and it's supposed to be like in the hundreds on Saturday. So people were like, I don't know if I can do that. Everything is going to be indoors because of the heat. So don't let that scare you. We will be indoors. We will be here in the sanctuary for most of it. So if you have any questions, just call 918-399-5956. If I don't know the answer, I will text or email Keith, and I will get back with you and let you know. So I hope to see you all tomorrow. I tried to get on a little earlier today, and I didn't quite make it, but I hope you guys have a great evening. If you want to come out and see what youth is all about, again, the littles, which is pre-K through 6th grade, is at 6, and then 7 through 12 is at 7. So if you have any questions, you want to know anything, just give me a text. Shoot me a text on the church phone, and I will reply to you as quickly as I possibly can. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.